Welcome to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go, a look at modern and retro games with a dark sense of humor. Introducing your hosts, Steve.
Well, I'm a wreck now.
Harry.
Put it in my mouth.
Clark.
That man had one testicle and hit home runs, goddammit.
And Joe.
This went off the rails very quickly.
Let's start the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast. Go! All right, across from me this evening, Joseph.
Bitch, don't mess with Frank or me. You got a snack?
Oh, I know exactly who said that. To my left this evening, Mr. Clark.
I'm in the TARDIS getting my DeLorean ready.
To the right of me, Mr. Steve.
With great power comes great bullshit.
I will be your host this evening. How many times have I told you to stop blasting that punk shit?
I am surprised nobody made the Final Fantasy reference.
Oh, fuck. I forgot all about that. That was like episode 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was in episode 1. Do you want to read it anyway? Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Do
go
it.
for
That is a tasty plasma. Maybe I could sneak in and watch Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I don't care what anybody says. That's one of the best sci-fi movies ever made.
Oh, God.
God damn it. I think I remember, I think I took a picture of that one too.
Yeah, you did. You sent a picture
so hard.
of it.
I was like, Jesus.
Didn't Square make this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they published it.
Yeah, they were
Either
a
way.
publisher. Yeah, but still.
Very well. We are talking Life is Strange this evening. But before we dive into our initial impressions, let's read a word from our sponsor. Let me just bring up the page here. This episode is brought to you by Deep Creek Glassworks. Since 2013, Deep Creek Glassworks is handcrafting durable glass goods for everyone to enjoy. Looking for something awesome for yourself or maybe for a loved one? Ornaments, jewelry, glassware, and much more. Deep Creek Glassworks has you covered. Feel free to contact them for something custom that you don't see on their website. Visit deepcreekglassworks.com, that's WORX today, to check out their selection. And for our listeners, use the promo code SUPERFUN for 10% off your first order. All items are shipped in crush-resistant boxes and provide free shipping for orders over $50. Again, that's deepcreekglassworks.com. Works spelled WORX.
Harry is hyped tonight. He's ready. Did you hear that enthusiasm? He's ready to go.
I think Leanne enjoyed that one too.
She's just looking from the other room like, what the fuck?
All right, gentlemen, initial impressions. Who wants to kick it off?
I'll go first.
You got it.
I had always been told that this game was like a must play. And I initially, upon looking at it, I just didn't think it was for me. But I quickly changed my mind after playing it for like the first hour. I was like, okay, this is like it's pretty interesting. And by the end, I just it's great. There's my full 360 there on the
Steve, why don't you go next?
I never heard of this game before you put it up for the podcast. And I had no idea what to expect. And I didn't even watch the trailer before downloading it. I just went in completely blind. And as soon as we got into like the opening, I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of these games. And it's been a while, and I do like very episodic, like story-driven games like this. So my interest was peaked after about 45 minutes or so. Started getting roped in. But yeah, initially I was excited, and that paid off.
Joe, do you want to go next?
Sure. So when you first kind of recommended this game or kind of put it on the slate for the podcast, I was thinking of a completely different game, to be honest with you. I thought you had recommended Beyond Two Souls. For some reason, it was the character image that translated that for me for some reason. So I was very confused when I launched the game for the first time, but I knew the game was supposed to be like the gameplay was like very story driven and things like that. So I was kind of excited to play a game like this because, to be honest, I haven't played one before. Like any of the Telltale games or the Dark Pictures anthology, I never played any of them yet. I've always wanted to, I just never did. But as Clark kind of said, the way the story started out, I was like I want to play these types of games, but like I don't know if this story is really geared towards me. But like you said, I kind of quickly turned around on it, and that's, and I really enjoyed it. So it's like my full 900 on the game.
Whoa.
Very well.
Well, so Joe didn't like it, or he did. I'm confused. That's a lot of rotations.
Yeah. So I mean, I've played these types of games with a lot of my friends, but I've pretty consistently played this genre of game with Eddie and Deary. So we played Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Humans, Until Dawn, Walking Dead Telltale 1 and 2, the Game of Thrones one. Like, we played a lot of those, like, choose your own adventure type games. And I remember Deary kind of mentioning to me one day, like, hey, on the side, I've been playing this one game called Life is Strange. And he's like, you should check it out. And I think I watched a trailer like years ago and then just didn't find the time to really hop in and look at it. But I always had that inkling like I want to play this at some point. So what better opportunity than to do it for the podcast? I'll stop there for now, but I will say I do like these types of games. I kind of gravitate towards them quite frequently. And yeah, that's my 832 on this one.
What?
Everybody was throwing out numbers and progressively getting higher. I thought I'd go and not
Lower,
not
in the middle. You thought you would go in the middle. Instead of being like, that's my 1080 on that.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did say 1080. Sure.
Yeah,
No, I said 900.
Yeah, he said 900. So that's
That's
if
like
anything,
1450 on this one.
if anything, I should have done.
It's a 1480, dude. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Dude, I will
God.
spin how many fucking times I want.
You're
You
this
would
is-
fall.
This is tricky.
both of the directions that you're talking about, you would fall. You're not landing straight or backwards. You're landing sideways. You will die.
Very well. Let's mosey on into game development.
Mosey.
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 Okay, at the pace that this game is, I think mosey is an appropriate
I think
term.
it's fair.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's go ape into.
Oh man. Very well.
Things are happening.
Yeah.
Say it, Harry.
Let's go ape into game development.
Fuck yeah!
That's a terrible segue. Why would you use that?
Yeah.
I know,
no
Harry. What the
relation.
fuck are you
It
thinking?
doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Game development.
So it was created by Don't Nod Entertainment. It is actually their second title with a female protagonist. When they were trying to pitch this idea to a lot of publishers, they kept getting shot down and saying, hey, oh, you should change it to a male protagonist. Oh, you should change this about the game. You should change this about the story. Square Enix was actually the only publisher who didn't want to change any of this. So that's why they did sign with Square Enix.
That's pretty awesome. Just to
Yeah,
let them
no,
do their own thing.
Well, I mean, look at Square Enix. They were the ones that I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 13 came out around or before this. No, this definitely came out before this because that was like 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. But I mean, they're male or female lead Lightning in that game. That's something that I think they definitely support as a company. So they began the development on this in April 2013 with a team of 15 people. They wanted the setting to be in the Pacific Northwest to convey a nostalgia, and they wanted to get that autumn feeling or the autumn theme for the game.
I was just going to say they want to try to make it as depressing as possible.
Yeah.
Where
maybe.
else but the Pacific Northwest?
The very rainy region.
Yeah.
Anyway, to get the feel of that area in the game, they visited the region, they read newspapers, they used the Google Street View to make sure that they accurately depicted this area of the country. Yeah, that's basically all I found on game development. Anything you guys wanted to add?
Not much else past that. Just one thing that I think just fits in this category. Something that was really neat was that Square Enix actually did sponsor its own Everyday Heroes photography contest.
I do remember reading about that. That's kind of cool.
And they offered a $10,000 scholarship. And then there were some other things that they did to raise other money for like anti-bullying, but the fact that they actually took something from the game and they're like, you know what, this is actually a good idea. Let's go ahead. Plus, I mean, that's good PR. If you're like, oh, everyday heroes, look at this and where it's inspired from. So I thought that was a neat little tidbit that I came across.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's awesome.
That is. Very well. Let's focus on a photograph and move into the story.
Story.
Look at this photograph.
Yeah.
Every time it makes me laugh. Look at that dead people.
They make me
Thank you, necrophilia. Giving me a certain kink. I just couldn't really think.
Boy, oh boy. All right. Well, let's get to this.
boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
Need a lot of laughter before the story.
Yeah.
You have this all like typed up, right?
Yeah, I have it all written down.
Okay.
I was going to wing it like I did for Legend of Dragoon.
Great.
Make us record it again 2 weeks later.
I was so embarrassed by it. I needed to revisit it.
There's like a girl and she has these crazy time powers. She takes photos. It's in Portland. She's got her one friend, Doey.
That's the deer, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
a doey
Yeah.
deer, the female deer. I think there's a guy named Ray. He's just a drop of golden sun.
All right. So the story opens up with Max Caulfield on the cliff sides of Arcadia Bay, viewing a storm that will destroy the entire town and its inhabitants below. She wakes up from the dream and is in class at Blackwell Academy. When she uses the restroom, she takes a picture of a blue butterfly before witnessing the death of a currently unknown female. It is at this moment she accidentally rewinds time to alter the events that took place. Not long after, Max reunites with her childhood friend Chloe, who turns out was the one who would have died in the bathroom. Over the course of the next week, Max experiments with her powers while investigating with Chloe about the disappearance of Rachel Amber. As the duo gets closer to solving the mystery, weird events start to occur, including numerous dead birds, a double moon, unexplained snowfall, and numerous beached whales. Max starts to believe that altering the events is somehow causing the strange phenomena. Normally, Max is limited to reversing time only by a few minutes, but she accidentally discovers she can alter events from years ago by focusing on photographs. It is at this moment that Max recognizes the butterfly effect while attempting to save the life of Chloe's dad. The investigation of Rachel Amber's disappearance leads to an underground secret facility where her teacher, Mr. Jefferson, has been drugging and photographing students. It turns out he took in Nathan as a personal student. Nathan made the mistake of overdosing Rachel and was killed as a result. To cover his tracks, Mr. Jefferson buries Rachel, kills Nathan, and abducts Max, who's closely come to figuring everything out. After Max breaks free with the help of David Madsen, Chloe's stepfather, she makes her way to retrieve a photograph in order to bring Chloe back to life, who was shot in the head by Mr. Jefferson. At the conclusion of the game, hold on, I'm almost done, I swear. At the conclusion of the game, Max and Chloe stand at the lighthouse overlooking the town below with a tornado in its path, the storm brought on by altering destiny. It is here Max must make her final decision of either saving the town or Chloe with the photograph of the blue butterfly.
Some deep shit.
Very, very deep.
I know I didn't hit every story beat there. I just wanted to hit some main points.
I don't think you can.
No,
Yeah.
and we're here to fill in the gaps.
Absolutely. So the way I would like to structure this story talk is let's try to keep it chapter by chapter instead of jumping all over the place. I have pictures of all the major choices and minor choices per chapter. I thought we contain all of our conversation to those and then move on to the next. When everybody's okay.
I agree. We could maybe do a after we kind of go through and break all of this down, maybe we could each just go around too and say, this can get a cut by the way, but maybe we could all go around and say like, hey, what did the story mean to you and stuff like that, and then just move on.
We could maybe do, you want to do like a wrap up at the end of story?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Just cause like dissecting it won't necessarily get all of our feelings for it. You know what I mean? So just like a quick like, hey, I thought this about the story, or hey, I thought this about the story.
Okay.
Just at the end would be good.
So I'm going to bring up. So I'll do it this way. I'll do the major decisions first, and then we can talk about each of those, or any or none if none of them are particularly interesting to you. And then we'll go to the minor decisions, and I'll just ramble through those pretty quick.
I think that's cool. Like, we can just kind of go through, if we're going through the list, and then just say which one or something maybe.
And again, I think we should maybe keep it 5 to 10 minutes per chapter, just so this isn't insane.
Yeah,
We can try
so
the
it's
best
not
we
a-
can. But
Yeah.
if we're going to be honest, though, there's graphics is not going to be long.
Gameplay's not gonna be
audio.
long.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those episodes where it's very heavy in one segment. So I think it's okay if we run a little bit longer on story, because the rest, there's not going to be too much to fill.
So the first major decision of the game in chapter 1, reporting Nathan or hiding the truth.
I hid the truth. Well, actually, I lied.
So this is in relation to Nathan
with
shooting
Or having a gun.
Having the gun.
Yeah,
Because at this point, you've reversed time and saved Chloe from being
Right.
shot.
right.
So you're reporting Nathan, or not telling the principal about Nathan having a gun on campus.
The first, I should mention, the first big thing about here is you're allowed to see both of them play out and reverse time before that decision is made. So you're not like stuck to that decision if you don't like it. But
Right.
you don't know what the ripple effect is going to be later in the game.
Yeah,
Only on some of them.
Yeah, for some. I mean, but I think one important part of the gameplay of this game is the fact that you can let everything go, and unless you move to a different area, pretty much, you can rewind time and rethink your decision.
Yep.
So that definitely, I know for me that played a factor, but we'll get in as the story. So at least with the first one, where you can report Nathan or not, I initially reported him, but then I rewound, and I hid the truth. I did not tell the principal that Nathan had the gun.
Yeah, I committed to reporting Nathan.
So did
Same.
I. I doubled down on it.
I didn't want that to backfire, like I'm hiding something later. All right, the next one. You kind of meet one of your arch rivals in school, Victoria, and she's straight up bitch to you. So you dump paint on her, and then you have the option of making fun of her or consoling her.
Yeah, Victoria.
Fuck that hoe.
She is an extremely rude person, but I don't know. I felt like I could have manipulated it, so I actually gave her comfort instead of like making fun of her and taking a picture.
So did I.
Yeah, I comfort her.
I think.
Fuck that bitch.
Wait,
Okay.
did you make fun of her? Because I'm looking at my screen. It said 100% you comforted
We
Victoria.
played on PC.
Oh,
on
that's
PC.
right. That's right. Okay. Well, every other person that played other than you, Joe, of our friends, comforted her.
Yeah, I feel bad. I didn't take the pictures of what all the friends did. I just did what the general percentage was across the U.S. or whoever played this game.
I have them up right now, so
Oh, I guess
if you're-
we're
Yeah,
announcing
we're gonna
them
talk
anyway.
about it
so-
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we're not the only friends that's going to matter to either.
Oh,
It's
well,
your friends list, so
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The next one is when you see Kate having you see David, who's the security guard on campus, having some kind of upsetting conversation with Kate. Did you intervene or snap a picture?
I snapped a picture.
Same.
I intervened.
As did I. I intervened. I'll
Yeah.
be honest. I have no idea how that plays out with snapping the picture.
So you can confront David with the picture later.
Yeah.
Is it the big blow up in the house later that comes to fruition?
No, it's actually much earlier than that. You can
Oh.
you can show it to Chloe, and Chloe kind of uses it at some point.
And then at the end of the chapter, it kind of shows the relationship between Chloe and David. And you have an opportunity to hide in the closet. And you have a couple options here, actually. You can
yeah.
take the blame for Chloe.
Because
'Cause
Chloe's
they-
smoking a joint in her room,
Yep.
and David's pissed about it because he's a military man, ex-military man, and security guard.
One thing real quick before we get really into this too. I think a lot of the characters are it's not as easy as black and white. There's a lot of
No.
gray area with these
Oh,
characters.
100%.
Definitely.
And I love that about this game. They felt like very realistic people.
Yeah.
When these characters were thrown into the story, and they all had. No, I was just saying they all had different intentions. Some more for themselves, more for others, and some of it didn't really come into focus right away. Like,
one thing that sticks out to me about character development in this and most games where like the character development is like stellar is people are flawed. Period. End of story. Everyone has their flaws. Everyone has their own, like, you know, self-doubt or anxieties about themselves or self-confidence or, you know, whatever. When a game can actually like fully explore that and you can see where one person's perception of a situation can be right or wrong, that is just incredible to me. And that is what sets brilliant storytelling in games aside and makes it a better medium than some movies and some, you know, books and things like that. Like, it's just one thing that like games can do because they can gamify the perspective so much that it hits the nail on the head for just character development and like the, you know, the human condition.
Yeah, and especially for something like this game where, with the exception of Joe, because he hasn't played too many games like this, when you play enough of them, you're always going in and trying to think like devil's advocate to every decision. And for some of these characters, even that devil's advocate, like the opposite of what you're thinking, isn't actually what's happening with them. Like it does come back into that middle ground where then, you know, it's not so cut and dry and it starts blending the edges a little bit. And so just supporting your statement, if there's someone who can, I don't know, make it different in that light, it's amazing.
Cool. But yeah, so like we were saying, he barges in the room, sees her smoking a joint. So you could take the blame for Chloe. You blame Chloe, you can stay hidden in the closet, or you can come out of the closet to intervene.
I'm trapped in the closet. No, I stayed in the closet, actually.
Same.
I fucked up and I guess blocked the closet. I couldn't hide in time. And rather than rewinding, I just let it play out.
Oh, hey, there you go. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
And I'm guessing you had to do something with rewinding time and fixing the stuff that falls in the closet or something.
Just the lamp.
Yeah.
There's like a tall standing lamp that falls over in front of the closet, and then you just have to move it or do one thing beforehand, and then you're good.
So I took the blame for Chloe.
So did I. And then he just starts... And she talked, I vaguely remember it, but I think she was like, oh yeah, I love this grass and smoking up all the time. Like she sounded like somebody who doesn't even know what weed is.
I know. Right. She probably really doesn't, because that's the first path that I took. And then I rewound because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with David because I'm very suspicious of him already. What else is he going to do? And then it played out with you staying hidden. He slaps Chloe. Like, he hits her. And you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, because she starts mouthing back off at him, and then he has his quick trigger, and he smacks her across the face.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, here's the dynamic. And then that comes up a lot again in the game.
Yeah, him hitting her comes up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm
Chloe
sure
does not. She does not let you forget. It's like, oh yeah, no, we have fun with this. And then there was a time you let David slap me. It's like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if when she took the blame, he, like, fucking smacks the shit out of Max, like not even his child. Just like,
you're not my child either. Whack.
Oh, then she like falls out the window and shit, and then she becomes the one paralyzed. What?
You're jumping way too far ahead. We said we're doing one chapter at a time. One chapter at a time, Harry. Fuck.
Ah, fat
Shit.
ah, shit.
Shit. Ah, shit. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Ah, shit.
All right, so I'm going to run through some of the minor decisions. We don't have to talk about any or all of them.
I want to talk about every single one, Harry.
Yeah, 5-minute conversation each one. No, if you guys want me to stop at one that you guys want to talk about, by all means. So first one, you let Daniel draw your portrait, or you didn't let Daniel draw your portrait?
I didn't.
Fuck him.
Oh, okay. You signed Miss Grant's petition, or you didn't sign Miss Grant's petition. We should
I
mention.
didn't.
I did not.
Power. I signed her petition.
Yeah, no, so did I. So we should say this is like the anti-David Madsen move, where he wants security cameras put in a school, and she feels that this is like a violation of privacy.
I didn't know what she wanted, and I was trying to do something.
I didn't do anything.
She caught me at a bad time, and that's why petitions don't work. Keep that in mind, people. Let's get it going.
Had a bad day at work, kept on walking.
Educate all you motherfuckers.
All right.
You about to learn today.
All right. So you can help Alyssa, or you cannot help Alyssa. I don't even
I
remember.
helped her, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Her too.
I remember some of the later moments when you help her.
The dude's throwing a football, and you can tell her to move, and she doesn't get hit.
Oh,
with it.
okay, yeah, that's right.
That's it. Yeah. You erase the insults on Kate's slate, or you didn't erase Kate's slate.
I erased them.
it.
I missed that one, so that stayed.
You watered your plant, or you didn't water your plant. This is actually one I want to talk about.
Same.
I did not water the plant.
Okay.
I did.
As did I. I did
Yeah.
water the plant.
I did also.
We'll
I
talk
think we
about
can finish
this.
talking about it later.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, there's more to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, because
There's
it just dies if you don't water it once.
That's the other thing. Thanks, Clark.
Yeah.
No,
well,
that's not the other thing.
no.
But you can. Okay.
There's another thing you could do too.
That's one. But okay.
Yeah.
I did the other one, Joe.
Same.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, okay. I want to hear about that later.
Yeah. Let's see. You touched Diana's pregnancy test, or you didn't?
Definitely Dana.
Is it Dana? Oh, let me
Dana. Yeah.
Dana. Yes, you touched Dana's pregnancy test, or you didn't touch Dana's pregnancy test.
Gross.
I did not touch it.
I did not touch it.
I touched it the first time, and then I went back to not touch it.
Yeah.
Steve
For
reversed
anyone
me
who
when he was
doesn't
like,
know, that's
"Pee."
covered in pee. There you go. Another lesson.
Yeah. Get a lot of life lessons tonight.
Yep.
Dude, I worked with P for 6.5 years. It doesn't bother me.
Do you know who else is getting life lessons? Dana.
Wrap your shit, kids.
All right. You reorganized Victoria's photos, or you didn't touch Victoria's photos?
I did not.
I didn't touch him.
Oh, I
I did-
reorganized the shit out of that wall.
I did
And
not.
you made him a finger.
Yeah. You turned it into a middle finger.
Yeah.
Really?
funny.
That's what it is. That what happens?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
That's
like
awesome.
a note to her. You saved the bird, or you let the bird die?
You skipped one. Writing on the
You
dirty
wrote on a
RV.
dirty RV. You didn't write on a dirty RV.
I didn't. It's not
I
my
did not.
property.
No, I missed that one too. I did not.
Oh God, I absolutely did. And it shows up in every chapter, and you're like, still hasn't watched it. Still hasn't watched it.
Is that Frank's RV?
Yeah, it's Frank's RV.
That's funny. I probably would have done it if I seen it. I'll cover that later.
It's how you get knifed by a hobo, kids.
No, he's
Next.
not a hobo.
Whoa,
He's
whoa.
a drifter.
Van life is totally 2020, Clark.
Yeah.
Get with the times.
My cousin is driving across country right now in a van.
Would he stab someone for writing on his RV? Probably.
No. Probably not him.
I like how you're making
think of
assumptions
other
about
families,
Steve's family.
Okay, no, let me say not
More of a
my
gun guy. He probably wouldn't stab him. He's more of a gun guy.
He's lazy about it.
Yeah. I don't feel like running.
He's coming right for us.
Let's see. You save the bird, or you let the bird die?
I let it die.
I let it die as well.
Oh, I saved it.
I missed the bird again, so it died.
Damn. I super saved this fucking bird too. It comes
yeah,
up later.
mouth to mouth
Yeah.
regurgitation.
All right. You broke Snowy's. You, you broke Chloe's.
This is a
snow
game
globe.
about Max and Snowy. Fuck.
Or you didn't break
Well-
Chloe's snow globe.
Would you look outside? It's coming really hard. Not yet, Snowy.
I did not break it.
I did not break it as well.
Yeah, that's one of those easy ones where you fuck it up once and then you just reverse time and fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, I
that's what
just didn't
did.
break it.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Well, apparently Joe doesn't like boxes.
No, there were some things I did accidentally.
You left evidence while searching through David's stuff, or you didn't leave evidence.
I intentionally left evidence here, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing hardball, Joe.
I did not like David.
I was
David.
like every second I was in there searching for evidence, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna come in here and just murder the shit out of me.
You weren't wrong. I felt the same thing. But I did not leave evidence.
You read David's files. You didn't read David's files.
I read the files.
I want to interject because this is kind of the end of chapter 1 that we're kind of discussing here. And I just want to kind of cover it here instead of gameplay. Is I actually had a problem with this game when I was playing it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a lot of these things that happened in chapter 1, I either had no control of or did not know I was doing. Because the interact thing that popped up on the screen, there is a bug on PC where if you're playing above a certain resolution, they don't show up unless Max's avatar is in front of or basically blocking your view or is in between you and the object that has to be interacted with, and you don't see the X, Y, B, or A, or circle, square, triangle, X buttons to tell you that there are multiple options. So I didn't have any of that playing the entire first chapter.
That
So
sucks, Joe. That does suck.
Yeah.
it was awful. And I didn't realize it until I was doing David's garage, because there was something that I found and the controller thing popped up, but showed no interactions. It showed the buttons, but there was no descriptions with them, which is when I realized there was a bug. But I was already all the way done chapter 1, basically.
How did you fix that, though, Joe?
I had to lower the resolution on the game. Instead of playing it full HD for the game, I had to not play at HD resolution. I had to play at 720p in order to play this game. It was really dumb.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
Joe.
the whole first chapter, was just me fumbling through it. Trying to just get through it because I didn't understand what was happening.
Oh. Wow. Shit. Shit,
Yeah.
Joe.
And it totally altered the rest of the game for me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's pretty fantastic, actually.
So my whole gameplay was just basically happenstance.
So I take it
Uh,
you did not read David's files?
I did read David's files.
Oh,
That was where I found the bug.
there you go.
Yeah. And then it was chapter done. I was like, oh, okay.
You turn, realize there's button prompts in your character, and you're like, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute.
I couldn't get the chapter to finish without fixing the bug.
Oh,
Because I could see there were files on the ground and I could see I could interact with them, but I didn't know what button to hit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was so fucking dumb. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of say, my whole story is based on that. That one bug.
we'll see how it turned out then. Because especially for the fact that your choices weren't counted in the percentages that the three of us saw. So that's more of a mystery. I
Yeah,
think
so you have
that-
no idea what I did.
Yeah, no, that's pretty neat. Though I will say, three of us said, the first bit of this chapter was a little bit of building, because I think it was about 3 hours or so a chapter.
Roughly.
This was one where I would only just get it always just ended on the first or second one, and it was just so late, and I just wanted to keep playing, but I had to go to bed.
I'll discuss that later. That happened to me too. In a very ridiculous spot.
But this definitely, you could see some, or at least assume some precursors to what the next chapter or episode held. And I don't know, this story just really draws you in. And I was pleasantly surprised by that, just since we're talking about story and just getting into the end of the first chapter.
Very well. Should we move on to chapter 2 then, gents? First big decision.
Wait, what happened?
I don't
The
know.
first big decision, and then somebody cried. I don't know. You told Kate to go to the police, or you told Kate to wait for more proof?
Go to
Now,
the
Totally
police,
go to the
girl.
police.
Yeah, we should mention at this point in the game, Kate is I guess
Not having a good time. She's showing everybody all of the very obvious signs that someone needs help and attention. And
Yeah, she's being very heavily bullied over some things that she had no control over.
Yeah,
social media went out of control on her.
Very strong-willed Christian girl who was saw on video kissing boys, and that did not turn out well in a student environment.
Yeah.
Even though other people were complete whores anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. And she can't remember any of this either. Like, she doesn't
Right.
remember any of it.
she was very obviously date raped.
Right.
Well, she was drugged, yeah.
Yeah, she was drugged and taken
Yeah, I guess you
advantage
couldn't call
of.
that a date.
Well, no, Nathan lured her out there.
Yeah.
Is it a date? I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
what come on, Joe. It's the term for it, man.
All right, we'll move on.
All right, so along the theme of Kate is a heavy part of this chapter in general. So the next big decision, it's after you just kind of revealed your powers to Chloe in the little diner that her mom owns. It's you can either answer Kate's call or you didn't answer the phone call when she gives you a ring.
Before we move on to that, how many times did it take you guys to do that thing to prove to Chloe that you had powers?
A long time.
Dude,
I think
which item
2 or
fucked you up the
3.
most?
It was the cop one. It was something
Yes.
about that was the one that wasn't very clear. It was like
They don't make it very apparent that his partner is in the car and drives off without him.
Yep.
No, because he doesn't pull out of the parking lot. He just drives down the road. Like, he's already in the road when the cop drives past. And it's like, it's listed as the cop leaves him. And I'm like, how could he leave him when he was never here?
Yeah, well, the cop sitting at the diner does say something about his partner being in the car, like he left, like the one in the diner was still finishing his breakfast, so it's like, let me finish.
Yeah, I mean, I picked up on it eventually, but it was just like the least obvious one. And I was just like, what the fuck?
I think I picked up it eventually by eliminating all the other options for that.
So you didn't really pick it up, you process of elimination.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I did it.
And then you were like, I got this.
Like the cockroach one, I got the second time through because I didn't know what started the jukebox. And then when I turned the camera around to look at it, that's when I saw.
That's the one that I missed, was the cockroach. That took me 3 tries to nail down, and once I did, I got it all.
Yeah, it's like I got most of them except for cop and cockroach. Cop I got on the second round, and then there was still the last one, and then I actually paid attention to the jukebox. I'm like, oh. But you had to swing quick. That's the thing.
Yeah.
All right, I answered Kate's call.
I did as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Same. I did too.
Chloe was kind of being an asshole about, hey, don't pick up your phone. You're with me.
But here's the thing.
She's like, oh,
Here's the
you
thing.
ditched me for 5 years, and now you're going to ditch me for another 30 seconds. Fuck you. I was like, yo, fuck off.
Yeah, but all the precursors of where Kate was at in her mindset was like, I am not picking up this phone call.
Exactly.
Right. That kind of lends into that character perspective thing. Like, Chloe has no idea what's going on with Kate. You have to explain it to her later. It's after this chapter that you actually explain to her what's going on with Kate. So, like, she has no perspective of it. She's like, why the fuck are you answering your phone? Like,
that was one of the very few decisions that I did not rewind on when playing through. I'm like, I'm not even going to worry about how the other side of this plays out.
Yeah, like, I'm going this with anyway.
Yeah, it's like, this is just where, in my gut, this just has to be done.
All right, so moving on. You tried to shoot Frank, or you didn't try to shoot Frank?
I tried to shoot him.
Yeah, so just to kind of give some context, you head off to like a junkyard with Chloe to do some bonding and stuff like that. You start shooting bottles, and Frank comes in to try and get money out of Chloe that he owes him.
Well, yeah, Chloe owes Frank
It's very confrontational.
a good bit of money. I also tried to shoot Frank.
Same.
Yeah, I did not. I thought she would actually shoot him, and then that would spiral the game in a completely different direction.
So
You just
you
hop on the
didn't
train.
shoot him, and then you never rewound to see the other option?
No, I didn't. I just committed.
Okay, so there's no bullet
Oh.
in the gun.
There you go. Yeah. It just
Yeah.
clicks and there's nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He stays pretty salty about it, though.
Yeah,
I'm
he's,
sure he
he's
does.
not too happy about it. Although there is a little bit of I don't want to say respect, because how much can you respect someone who actually tries to shoot you? But for the fact that it's like, you actually pulled the trigger. It's like, the fuck right I did.
Yeah.
So there's one point later on that we'll get into, and I'll call it out because I know there's decisions to be made there. But like, if you really get on his good side, he will say, and I do respect you for trying to shoot me. I would have done the same in your shoes.
Yep. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Yeah.
in general, like it does kind of come back in a semi good way, at least in that kind of area.
So before the next one, do you want to preface what's happening before we just read the
All right.
options?
So it seems like Kate is really upset over the social media blow up. She's getting messages from her family about like, why would you do this? So there's the social media blow up. Everybody's teasing her about it. She doesn't know what happened. She's super depressed. She's getting shit from her family about it, like telling her to come home. So it's like a really overall embarrassing experience for her. She feels like alone in the world. So she makes her way up to the roof of the school and proceeds
The
to
dormitory, I believe.
the dormitory. And from the crowd, you see her jump off of the building, committing suicide. Now, obviously, Max has this rewind power. You're able to kind of pause or reverse time to get up to the roof. And then, depending on your actions prior, kind of determines whether or not you can save her or not at this point.
Because when you get to the top of the roof, Max's power kind of taps out a little bit.
Yeah. That's
And
where
you
she
do not
starts
get
to
a
see there's a limit.
Yeah. The name of the chapter is called Out of Time, and it's specifically related to this specific moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a huge moment in the game, too. Like,
Yeah.
this carries on, at least from what I experienced, throughout almost the rest of the game. So I was able to save her life.
As was I.
Same.
I was not.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So even if after it happened, did you try to rewind and it just...
You can't.
Oh.
It tells you before it even happens. Like, there's a little icon in the bottom corner that has the rewind symbol, and it has like the red no symbol on it, like no smoking.
No
Like,
kidding.
yeah, it tells you before it even happens. It's like, you don't have an option what happens here.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
shit.
Yeah, so like everything that happens during that conversation on the roof is final.
Wow, I really feel like that's got to set a different tone for the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the game where I was just like I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know where the fuck this game is going. Like, holy shit.
yeah, wow. I thought about it, like, after completing the game, I thought about like that decision there and how it would play out with the rest of the game. Maybe I hold my thoughts back on this one.
I think for now.
We
Yeah.
might come up later.
Yeah, but no, I am very interested to see how the game would play out from that point, and I'm wondering if it would make it a stronger story if she had died at that point.
It played a lot into the game. A lot.
As like the antithesis to that, it did come up a lot with saving her too. Like there was a lot of talk about it, which I'm sure is going to be coming up in the next chapters. But I mean, if you're coming from the place of where it's like you're constantly reminded of that or of this event, then yes, it's the same, but more in a positive light, obviously.
Oh,
shit.
yes, you did.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to hear about that. As I'm actually, as much as I hate to say it, I'm kind of glad that one of us did not save her, so that way we can get like more angles to the way that plays out.
Yeah,
The full spectrum.
Yeah,
Right.
whenever you have an
Consequences of
opportunity,
Right where we're at.
yeah, Joe, whenever you have an opportunity that might differ from us on this, please chime in with your thoughts in relation to this decision.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that decision really fucked me up
Yeah,
for
and
the game.
and your buttons were working by that point, so you
Yes.
really fucked up.
Yeah, you really.
There was
fucked
no
up.
option to save her. Like it just happened.
Well,
Like,
apparently
it's
there
entirely-
was, and the three of us found it, and you did not.
I
You
didn't
have
pick
to-
the same things
I know.
Yeah.
as you guys in the previous chapters, though.
Right. I'm just
I don't.
busting your balls.
I bet you don't have to get all of them. I think if as long as you get a majority of them, and I think there's some bullet points that you hit in that conversation with her. You have depending on your choices that you say.
Yeah,
like,
there were some things on the roof that, like, you know, where she really harped on me a lot for, like, not intervening with David and like all of that shit.
Did you
That
take
was
the
like
picture?
the biggest one.
Did you
Yeah.
take the picture? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
Now
I took the picture as well.
one thing that gave me help on the roof when there's a couple moments where you're searching through people's rooms in the dormitory.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was searching her room, I found a note from her dad that said, like, no matter what happens, like, I'll always look out for you. I know, like, her mom seemed like she was an asshole.
Yes.
And there was
Yeah.
an option on the roof, like, to remind her of who would care about her. I chose the dad option, having read that note from her father, because it seems like other people in her family would just, like, fucking drop her like a piece of shit. But
Yeah.
Her
I chose
sister-
the sister. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clark.
her sister, like, the dad is kind of like, we're here for you, but we want to come get you. We want to take you away. Whereas the sister was like, I will come and be with you and get you through this. So, like, I was kind of looking at, like, the conversation charts of this, and people seem to have the suspicion that that specific thing is weighted heavily towards your conversation of saving her.
okay.
And mentioning the sister is like, it adds 35 or 45% ish towards saving her, whereas the dad is like 30 and the mom is -5.
Wow. Well, just for continuity, sisters. There was two.
Yes,
If you-
sisters.
I know there was like one thing I think that really helped was actually seeing when she was sitting at her desk when she was just like super mope, like the room darked out and everything. There was a picture of her and her sisters on the top of her desk. So that was like the first thing that she saw whenever she was sitting down to do things. And that was like the only thing that really clicked, like between the parents and the sisters. I'm like, well, even though I haven't had any, go for siblings, because that always seems to be, on a completely different level than parents.
Very well. So the chapter wraps up where they're all in the dean's office and trying to rectify, like, the events that just took place, and you're allowed to put blame on one person that affected Kate, and you could choose between 3 people, which would be David, Nathan, and Mr. Jefferson. Who did you guys blame?
Nathan.
Yeah, so did I.
Fuck him. Now, here's where I want to hear Joe's portion, because when you're sitting in the office with the other 3,
Yeah.
they're praising Max, saying, like, you did a very good thing,
Yeah. It's still like, it's still very much like, you did a good job. Like, you did your best you could. Like, you probably shouldn't have been on the roof, but we appreciate you trying. That kind of thing. It's still the overall conversation of Max being on the roof trying to help her.
There's a couple points, like even in that scene, where I think they used it for both outcomes, because the principal said something, I don't know, it sounded negative for a positive situation, where he's like, we all know about the traumatic events that happened, and it's where seeing someone
It's
like
not
ready to
quite
jump
descriptive
off,
of what actually happened.
right, where
Yeah.
it made it sound like they still use that in the more negative version of the outcome, rather than having a different dialogue for not having her jump. And I
wouldn't be
thought that was,
surprised.
I thought that was a little interesting, though I get it, but it did sound, it's like, wait, we're all having a hard time with this. And it's
Yeah.
like, that sounds like someone died rather than someone who actually lived.
Right. I think it's still trying to convey the seriousness of the situation, even though she didn't, kill herself. I think that's the whole point of that conversation, because the phrasing that you're using sounds very familiar to what he used in that conversation.
Though I will say the word hero was thrown around a good bit, and this is where it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that word is used quite frequently through the rest of the game.
That and
Overused almost.
you're super max. You can do anything. It's like, oh, okay. Is
That was mostly Chloe,
yeah, it was.
but yeah. So yeah, Kate's dead for me.
All right.
All right.
Crazy.
So some of the minor decisions for the chapter then.
Chapter 2.
I'm gonna talk
you
on this
water your
first one.
plant?
Yeah. Did you water your plant?
I did not.
Yeah,
I
I
did not water my plant.
I watered my plant. That was 2 days in a row. That overwaters your plant and kills it.
Really?
Yep.
Yes. You
See,
don't find out until chapter 3, though.
I thought about it. It's like, well, I just watered this, so it should be good. So I did not.
Yet, Leanne, your sneeze registered.
No, I heard that.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah, bless you.
Um,
No, Harry, you tell her.
Oh, they all say bless you.
Okay, we're good now.
but yeah, so the plant watering. Yeah, you don't find out until the next day, though, which is
Yeah.
like the next chapter, that your
Yeah.
plant dies from overwatering.
You guys
Oh.
do know you can't water a plant every day, right?
Also, there is a text message from your mom, like in the beginning of the game, that's like, don't forget to water your plant. And then if you look at it in chapter 3, it's like, I hope you didn't water it too much.
Yeah. It's just a spit in your
I was like-
face.
I was like, fuck you.
So I mean, we don't.
Where was
have
your text
to,
yesterday, Mom?
We don't have to cover this, but all 3 of you killed your plants.
Yes.
I never watered mine, I don't think.
So yes, so that died,
So,
and then
yeah,
Harry overwatered too.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I
It's a harder character to keep alive than Kate.
Hey,
Joe must be bad at the game because he killed them both.
You ain't
shit.
wrong.
All right. The next one, I don't even know what this one was, but it's you helped Alyssa or you didn't help Alyssa.
So I
Again,
think
you
you
gotta
didn't.
tell her to fucking move. You gotta tell her to move out of the way. She keeps
Again.
getting hit in the fucking head with stuff, and you keep telling her to
Was-
move out of the way.
You know what
was
you
the
should tell her?
toilet
Stop
paper.
wearing a bullseye shirt.
Mm.
that was the toilet paper in the dorm, where
didn't
someone
see
just opened up a door and just chucked a roll of toilet paper at her head.
Yeah, totally missed that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I missed that one too.
No, I helped her.
All right. So this one might work towards the conversation with Kate on the roof, but erasing the link to Kate's video, this is on the bathroom mirror, or you left the link to Kate's video. That probably has some small weight towards that conversation up there.
I'm not sure. That's
It does.
okay.
I
I
erased the link.
I erased it also.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, so that still popped up for you, Joe? The link, like when you're
It's still the timeline of
Yeah, the timeline is that this happens is before she actually kills herself.
Oh,
Yeah, these are the
that's
minor
right.
decisions.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
My bad.
Did you guys go to the website?
No.
Oh God.
no.
Jesus.
Okay.
Did you?
Did you?
Yes, I did.
What was on the website?
So it's intentionally supposed to make you feel bad for being curious. Like it's supposed to make you feel like Victoria. So it's a real website, and what it has is a YouTube video where it's a YouTube video that's intentionally been removed.
Oh, shit!
Oh, okay.
That's wild, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a small detail that they just slipped into the game like that.
Wow.
Whenever I play games that have shit like this where there's websites or something in it, I almost always go because I'm curious. And like 9 times out of 10, like they're legitimate websites that like most of them don't actually pertain to the game and they redirect you to like the publishing company or whatever. But yeah, this one was real.
I heart bees, man. I heart bees.
Yeah, before I decided what to do, I was like, katesvid.com.
All right. The next one, you were friendly
Joe
with
was very disappointed that it wasn't porn. very, very disappointed.
Again,
I was expecting more.
I check all games like this, not just this. So it didn't change anything.
Of course.
You're always expecting porn then. Is that what you're
Jesus.
saying?
So, you were friendly or
Yeah, this is you were friendly with Taylor or you weren't friendly with Taylor.
I was
I
not.
was.
I was trying to make friends wherever I could. I never knew like to what advantage that might play in the game.
I was
Same.
not friendly with Taylor.
You accepted Warren's invitation or you rejected Warren's invitation?
Reject him, little simp.
This was for the movie, right?
Yes.
Going to the
Oh yeah, the drive-in.
movie for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, no, it's I
Go
friend-
ape.
Yeah. No, I rejected Warren.
I accepted him.
I accepted.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay.
Is this where the Go Ape started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the movie
Yeah.
that he wants
Yeah.
you to go see at the drive-in.
Gotcha.
He wants to do like a King Kong thing and like, you know what? You're a nice friend, Warren, but I'm not interested.
Is that how it went?
Not exactly, but Max put it a lot better than I did.
Okay,
It's like,
but it was the same message was conveyed essentially.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's
interesting.
it's like already by that it was like, oh, you can tell Warren's interested. And
There's so many little things like this that change the game that I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what makes these games so special, man. I'm telling you. It's just like the little things that somebody might not experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have treated Warren a little differently, but we'll see how that plays out in the next few chapters. But
I don't know where this next one was, but it's you wrote a message or you didn't write a message.
It's in the shack at Chloe's hideout.
Yeah.
Oh, is this where,
Where
you
it's
add
like
your
Chloe was here,
Oh,
Rachel was here, and then you write Max was here.
got it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
yeah, I did not write the message. I just didn't want to intrude on what Chloe and Rachel had,
I did.
I did.
Very well. Yeah, I did as well.
as did Harry. Yeah.
What
Looking
the fuck?
at between all the friends, I am the 0% on that.
Very well. All right. Next one. You tampered with the rail tracks or you didn't tamper with the rail tracks?
I don't understand this one.
I did not. It's before you can tamper with the railroad tracks before.
Before she gets stuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is
Does
at
she
a
not
point.
does she
I
not
have
get
no-
stuck if you
I-
tamper with them?
I have no idea because I did not tamper with them.
Neither
Yeah, I
did
didn't
I.
either.
Most
this
people
is-
don't.
When you're with Chloe in the junkyard and you're messing around and Chloe gets stuck in between the train tracks.
Right. This
And-
is referring to before she gets stuck, though.
Right.
I think it's inferring that if you tamper with them before she gets stuck, maybe she doesn't get stuck.
Nah, she probably
Or-
still gets stuck because it's one of those moments in the game that it wants to like give you like an adrenaline ride
Yeah.
on trying to
I'm
figure
curious
this
to
shit
see
out.
what the other option does.
Yeah.
Me too.
Next one. You gained entry to the Vortex Club Party or you didn't gain entrance to the Vortex Club Party?
Oh, I got in.
Oh, I got in.
Yeah.
I did not.
Really?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, we'll talk about it later then.
Loser.
All right. Well, we talk about it later then, or just some talk about it later then?
What? Shut up,
Next
Steve. Let's
one.
move on.
Because Clark's not in the party. That's what I'm saying. He's not invited.
You helped
Right, so I wanna
Warren
s-
or you didn't help Warren?
I did
Didn't
not
help.
help Warren, but I'm pretty sure I fucking did. Like, that was the one where he was doing the Cyrex experiment, trying to blow shit up, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you gave him the right. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I did that, and it says I didn't.
Oh, well, I helped him and it said I helped him.
What the hell? I don't get
know.
it either.
The last one is you told on David to Mr. Jefferson or you didn't tell on David to Mr. Jefferson. And I did
did.
tell him. Yeah, so
I
did.
did.
I did also.
Was that in relation to the security cameras?
Between
Or-
that and the pictures of Kate and everything, that's when it started to unravel a little bit more, saying like, "Oh, I think
that's when he starts to pick up on Max's kind of knowing what the fuck's going on a little bit.
right, yeah, exactly."
Okay, that's right. Do we want to hit on any other points of that chapter before we move on to the next chapter?
We did the police, the call, try to shoot Frank. Because I think we've been breaking it down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably go a little faster through the next one. That one we
Yeah.
spent a lot of time on.
I think that was one of the bigger chapters, though.
Yeah, that the whole thing with Kate is really important.
Yeah.
I feel like in chapters 4 and 5, we're probably going to do the same. Chapter 3, we could probably run through real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first big decision. You stole the money or you left the money. This is when you break into the school at night to try to get evidence on what's going on.
Right. I stole the money simply because of how the principal treated me when I reported Nathan in the beginning of the game.
I stole the money as well for the exact same fucking reason.
I left the money because it was for the handicap.
Yeah, so did I. I think I remember reading, wasn't it on the envelope or something?
It was.
Yeah, and I was like, this is awful. I'm not stealing from the handicap.
Yeah, it was $5,000 for the handicap. It's like, I'm not going to take that money just because my delinquent friend needs it right away.
If they lived in Canada, they wouldn't even need that $5,000.
Okay, but welcome to the good old USA, Pacific Northwest.
Also, if you read the emails on the computer, that is $5,000 that the principal skimmed off of the top of the handicap money.
Well, that would have changed my decision.
Yeah.
Because also, Chloe does not let you forget that as well. It's like, oh, well, I could have been done with Frank if you let me take that money. It's like, fuck
Interesting. There's so many things coming together. Like, this is the crazy part of the game. Is like that, like things
Our
are really
stories are
adding up
starting to
here.
get really different.
Yeah.
Because for her, she's like, oh man, I can pay Frank and we could just leave.
Yeah.
We could just go.
Yeah.
And then I told her no, because that's not the right thing to do.
Oh man, I'm so interested in what's happening.
All right, let's get to the next one here.
All right,
Let's have some lesbianism going on here. What's going to happen?
I have a feeling where it all sits here.
All right.
In my pants.
Chloe. You kiss Chloe or you don't kiss Chloe?
I kissed
did.
Chloe.
Absolutely. Come on.
Did you guys actually do the not kiss and then rewind, or were you just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm doing it?
No, I did the kiss, rewind, did the kiss again.
Unzipped his pants, rewinded again.
Wait, I need that again. Wait. I need that again.
Oh god!
Wait.
Zoom and enhance.
Somehow
Pause.
I know another time in this game where he rewinds it several times.
The secret basement.
Not the one I was thinking.
Fuck, I had a mouthful of beer.
You could hear the audible.
Yeah, you can tell.
Try not to spit, which is
jeez.
that's being a good boy.
All right.
All right. You
But no,
okay.
by that point, that almost seems like where Max is coming out of her shell a little bit, and you're starting to see like the other point. So I did not rewind, and it's like, you know what? Fuck it, let's roll with it. And why not take the crazy girl and really fuck her world up a little bit to not expect this, and fuck it, we'll do it live.
This next one, I might briefly want to talk about.
Yeah, it's a pretty big moment.
There's a fight that goes on in the house, and you can either side with David or you could side with Chloe.
I sided with Chloe.
Same.
Yeah, after watching her get smacked across the face, I sided with her. Like that.
See, I didn't see that moment. So that kind of played it. So I originally sided with Chloe and then saw the family break up and was like, I don't know if I want to commit to this. And I went back and I sided with David on this one.
Really?
Interesting.
I did. Yes.
Huh.
And he like thanks you later for it. And he actually has these like conversations with
Didn't
Max.
you-
Like
You also took the blame, right?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
And he actually realizes, he's like, so when I took the blame, he has a conversation with you later in the school at some point, and he's like, I know the weed wasn't yours. I know it was Chloe's, and I thank you for being a good friend to her. I think that's kind of what she needs right now.
Wow.
So he has this like more down to earth character about him a little bit later in the game.
I still sided with Chloe and got that same reaction because I did side with because I did take the blame.
Okay.
He's like, I'm not, but he said it a little differently. He was like, I'm not stupid. I know you weren't the one smoking.
Interesting. So yeah, this is kind of the moment where like the picture of Kate and everything really, really came up because like you kind of explained everything that David's been doing to Chloe's mom.
Yeah, Joyce.
Yeah, and like the picture thing like really is like the item that like is kind of a nail in the coffin, or at least in my playthrough was.
Yep, same here.
Well, I'll at least say from hiding in the closet and then now this decision with siding with Chloe, where you're like pretty anti David right now, it does come back where you start to see his other side and see where he's affected. So it's hard for him, but it I don't know. Well, we have a couple more chapters, so we'll start to get into that. But
It'll
this
circle
is
back around, yeah.
yeah, this is a little bit of the part where it starts to break his character of what you thought of him if it was in a negative aspect.
So these next two happen in the same setting. That you're trying to break into Frank's RV for more information or more clues about Rachel Amber. So the first one, you have to distract Frank's dog, and you can either throw the bone towards the road or further back in the parking lot.
Does anybody have the name of the dog? It was something crazy. I forget.
I forget.
That's who
No.
said by Quip.
Yeah, I did know that, Joe, during the like the weird out
Yeah.
of body experience she has.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank's dog texts you.
I don't remember what Frank's dog's name was. though.
Pompadour.
Yeah, that's right, Pompadour.
There we go. And it was just a big, kind of ferocious dog. It was like a pit bull
Kind of
or a
a-
boxer or something like
Some
that.
kind of weird mutt.
Yeah, it was a mutt, but Pompadour.
And-
I saved it from harm. I could not.
Same.
Yeah, I was not stupid enough to throw a fucking bone into the street.
No.
I watched both play out though.
Oh,
Oh,
Christ.
no.
No, you sadistic bastard.
Oh, dog totally gets hit by a car
Oh God, you hear it like the
right
whining
away.
of-
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of
Okay.
people standing out in the road and everything.
Yep. Glad I didn't do that. That would
Yeah,
make me. That would probably be the saddest point in this entire game.
Would have fucked me up more than Kate dying.
Yeah.
The other one is while you're searching the RV, if you look in the one cabinet, you can find the gun that Chloe stole from David, and then which Frank stole later in the junkyard. So you can leave it or give it back to Chloe at that point. And so this is a segment of the game I had to replay because I was going for the platinum on this game, and I forgot to check that cabinet the second time I played through. And so I went with the default of Frank still has David's gun.
Oh, Chloe still had it in my playthrough.
Same.
Yep. Chloe had David's gun in mine as well.
The bigger picture starts coming into play though, and I like that, like the way they progress and they kind of open the circle more and more each chapter. I don't know, just they're basically spoon feeding you this information in a way that it really keeps you enthralled in the game.
Yeah, which I will say I'm very glad that when you brought this up, like all of the episodes were out, so we can just keep rolling through it. Because otherwise, if you got it at release, it was like at least 2 months in between like each episode that came out. And
Yeah, I
I'd
wouldn't
be-
do that.
I mean, like I'll wait.
Oof.
All right, minor decisions for chapter 3. Number 1, Lisa is alive or Lisa is dead. That is the
Lisa's-
plant.
Yeah, Lisa's the plant.
I
Yeah,
think
Lisa is dead.
DED did.
Lisa is alive for me. I can take care of my plants. I got a green thumb.
You got a Korean thumb?
Yes.
All right, kimchi motherfucker.
I'm
All
going
right,
to
so
put
while-
it in a clay pot and let it sit for 24 months. I got kimchi.
So the next one, this is while you have broken into the school, you can stumble across Warren's exam and alter the grade on it. So it's you helped Warren with his exam or you didn't help Warren with his exam.
I helped him in the first place, so I'm not going to change his grade. It's good enough. I think it
I
was
did
like
not
a,
even. Yeah, sorry, Steve.
No, it was like a A minus or something. It was still an A, I think. So get out of here.
Yeah, I did help him with the exam.
Yeah, no, I cheated too. Just right.
I
there.
didn't even see it, so I didn't help him.
Yeah, some of these things are really easy to miss too. I should say, like the Alyssa with the toilet paper thing. I had no idea that fucking ever happened.
The Alyssa anywhere in this game.
Yeah, she's kind of
Except for the last
such
chapter.
a big girl.
Oh, wait.
It's not bully, Harry. That's not the point of this game.
I don't know. I'm the Nathan of this podcast.
Oh God.
Oh, well. Get out of here, Ginger.
All right. You were on the Vortex Club party list. You are not on the Vortex Club party list.
Of course
I am
I'm
on the
list.
list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how this is different than the previous chapter,
Because
where it's like you gained entry to the Vortex Club party.
Yeah. So here's the thing: when you're in the swim club, or when you're in the pool,
Which is where Harry other rewind. Yep.
yeah, you can find the Vortex Club list and write your name in.
Oh, okay.
That's how I got in. So I didn't have to kiss anybody's ass from the Vortex Club to get in,
Yeah. You can erase names on the list, which is the next one too.
which is something I also did.
Absolutely. I don't know how that played out. I don't know who wasn't there though, because I
I'm not
did
sure.
erase. I did erase names as well, and I don't.
Do you know
how
which names you erased?
I don't know. We'll wait until we get there because I was already on the list, so I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I didn't even see the list.
Oh, okay. So this is also the chapter where she discovers that she can alter time from a long time ago by focusing on a picture. So you do travel to the past to save Chloe's dad. I forget his name.
William.
William.
This is not quite yet, though.
Oh, is this not that one? Where
No,
That's
you're talking
4.
about. Yeah, you can erase the cop's message on the answering machine, or you not erase the cop's message, is in relation to the swimming pool still, and them trying to track you down.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jumped ahead. I guess that was chapter 4 that all happened, didn't it?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, you helped Alyssa. You didn't help Alyssa. I think a car drove by and hit a puddle, and you just tell her to step back.
I didn't help her here.
Yeah, me either.
I still helped her. I felt like by this point I'm dedicated.
She's fucking
to,
helpless the entire game.
She has the worst luck. The worst luck ever. But you know what? It's at least you're not changing anything. I think so. I'll be here for Angel with a prayer.
The next one, you warned the homeless woman, or you didn't warn the homeless woman.
I did not.
I did not.
I did.
I did not. I don't remember it.
I think I missed
she was
her.
in the alley behind the diner.
Yeah, I missed her then.
I
missed her
realized
too.
where she was in the next chapter, or maybe the last chapter, something like that.
You took a photo in the past, or you didn't take a photo in the past.
I did.
Yep.
So did I. And then you left a mark on the fireplace, or you didn't leave a mark on the fireplace.
I did.
not.
I did, and I thought this would have played into more. Like, hey, look, I altered. I thought this was going to be her whole reveal to the family. Like, you guys make the decision what you want to do. This is how. Like, I thought there was going to be more into that. Like, I was actually hoping for like she'd have a sit down with the family, explain everything that happened, and let them make the decision what they want to do. I thought that would have made for a great scene in this game, but it didn't happen.
No, I did not leave a mark, and it made no difference.
Yeah, I don't think it had. I don't know what it did.
All right. So a little precursor to starting chapter 4. She went back in time, saved William's life, who would have died in a car accident. But with the butterfly effect, Chloe got her license, got in an accident herself, and it paralyzed her from like the neck down.
This was a fucked up chapter.
Yup.
To kind of put it in perspective, like the end of episode 3, it shows Max walking to the front door and William is there and he opens it. He's like, "Oh, Chloe's been waiting for you." And then all you see is Max's reaction and that's it. And then once episode 4 starts, it's like, "Oh, Chloe's been waiting for you." And then you see Max's reaction and then it shows Chloe in a full like quadriplegic. Yeah, like it's like she has no mobility except maybe like her like 2 fingers to move her wheelchair. You're like, holy shit.
I
Yeah,
think it was
she-
all from her mouth.
Yeah, she controlled everything from her mouth.
So that's that. I think this is like the biggest point where it's like, I'm going to try to change something for the better. And it's just like, what? What the fuck just happened?
All right, so the first big decision. Chloe requests that you pull the plug on her, so to speak. Do you accept or you refuse?
That was,
I accepted.
I accept it as well.
I did
So did
also.
I. Yep.
Yeah.
This is the fucking heaviest decision in the fucking game. I think this is worse than the end, which we'll get to when we get there. But
It wasn't easy,
This-
that's for sure.
No,
I sat
no.
there and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
This is, dude, honestly, like part of me, like when I was like really thinking about it, I was like, I would want the same thing. I would want to enjoy a movie with my best friend and then be put out of my misery so I didn't ruin anyone else's life.
And then
Especially when she knew what was going on, like, and how her condition was deteriorating so rapidly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chloe was on her way out and she's like, you know what? This is the best day that I've had for so long. Let's end it here. And fuck. It's like I sat back and I thought, I honestly thought of you guys. Like, if one of my closest friends asked me to do that for them, how the fuck would I do that? Shit. It was so deep and it hits on levels that you don't think about. And then you're so involved and it's, I don't know. It's that was tough.
Between this and like the isolation of like COVID and like all of that stuff, dude, like I made the decision and then I set my controller down and I walked outside and I was like vaping a little bit and I just like teared up and I was like, fuck, this game is so fucking heavy right now. I hope I hope it gets better. And like it doesn't.
Yeah.
it gets worse.
If
But,
you
like,
thought this
man.
was bad.
Yeah, like it just this is the darkest. This is the beginning of the darkest part of this game.
Yeah.
I was about to say this chapter, but no.
No. Yeah.
Nah.
Goes a little deeper than that. It just
Yeah, much deeper than that. It's tough. This is a really tough, heavy decision.
The next big one, so you're searching Nathan's dorm room for more clues on the case. And then when you go to leave, he barges in with a gun and Warren starts to beat the shit out of him. Now you have the option to just stand back and let him beat him up, or you can stop Warren from beating up Nathan.
I let him beat the shit out of Nathan.
Oh fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
I stopped him.
Really?
Did you?
I was afraid that Nathan was going to kill him.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be some dumb thing like there was a scuffle and then Warren gets shot in the face.
No, it's like as soon as it started happening and then you're left with the decision, I'm like, you know what? Warren needs this. So does Nathan. Fucking ass. Like, just let him go. And then I did start to feel bad because about 3/4 of the way through the scene, Clark, Nathan starts crying and like begging for mercy.
Oh yeah. He's
And
crying like a baby.
It's not where it's like, oh, come on, stop, da da da. It's like full on, and you're like, oh shit. It's like, and then you start getting into like this type of game mindset. It's like there's more going on here than what I expect. But
So did you guys ever break into his room?
Nathan?
Yeah, his room
yeah.
is fucked up.
Oh yeah.
His room is very fucked up. Kind of leaves like a weird precursor to what we're going to get into in chapter 5. But also, I wanted to point out that if you read some of his text messages and his emails from his dad,
Oh,
I started to get this idea that he was being abused as well. I was like, all right. So that kind of influenced my decision here where I was like, all right, Nathan doesn't need this. Warren did his thing. We're not in danger anymore. Let's just call it off.
I can see where you come from with that decision, but at the same time, Nathan also, even though he comes from a very abused background, he needed his comeuppance. So I just let it ride.
they go to see Frank at his trailer, or his RV rather, on the beach. And there's a couple things that can happen here. Chloe can kill Frank, Chloe can wound Frank, or nobody can get hurt.
So this is where in my game we handed over the money that we took from the quote unquote handicapped fund.
Okay. And how did Frank respond to that?
It still escalates, and in my game, Chloe wounds Frank.
See, I went with not taking the money, but I went at Frank with the angle of Rachel and our emphasis being on Rachel and what happened. And there's like a certain path, I guess, you can take to kind of not escalate it a little bit, even though he does get a little like amped up and whatnot, of course. But yeah, I was actually very surprised with the way that conversation came out with, because that was one that I was able to go through and nobody had anything happen, or he was very willing to give up information and whatnot. So I was like, all right, great. I'm going to take this and run.
Did you pull the trigger on Frank earlier in the game as well?
I did.
Okay, interesting.
And it was more so taking the focus off of that and putting it onto Rachel, which seemed to keep him more level-headed.
Mine was Chloe wounded Frank. And I don't know why it says 0%, 0%, 100%. That's what I'm seeing on my screen, but my check mark is next to Chloe wounded Frank. And she stabs him in the leg. But that is after I rewound it.
So we both have Chloe wounded Frank, but she wounded him different ways.
How did she wound him in yours?
Well, Chloe in my game had David's gun and shot him.
Oh, in my game, she took the knife that Frank had and stabbed him in the leg with it.
Oh, wow.
Shit. I think at this point in the game, too, if you don't tell him to keep the dog in the RV, the dog can get shot and killed, too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, that is an option.
So I saw Chloe killing Frank, and she shoots him in the chest, at least in my game. I rewound that, though, because I didn't want Frank to die.
Right.
Because I think Frank is just
just a piece of shit.
Another flawed person.
Yeah.
Semi-innocent bystander.
Yeah.
I actually don't think he's innocent. I think Rachel actually really loved him and not Chloe.
Innocent as far as the shit going on in Arcadia.
Yeah, he has nothing to do with any of that. He just provides some drugs to some people.
We have some more to get in.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I replayed this scene more times than even the diner scene to get the outcome that I wanted. And I walked away, nobody getting hurt on this one. But it took many tries.
Keep replaying it because that's what you wanted?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Ideally.
Because I only kept replaying it until Frank did not die.
Oh, yeah, no, I kept replaying until there was like a really positive outcome on this one.
Okay.
Because that just seemed like what the game, like the game wanted you to come out on top in certain scenarios, because she would like give a nod to Chloe, like, just follow my lead. So I was like, there's got to be a good way to get through this.
Yeah.
So when the game indicated to you that there's a good way of getting out of this, like, I would usually stick to my guns and keep playing it until I came out on top.
See, it was interesting for me. The way it played out was Chloe wounded Frank, then wounded Frank gave us the information that we wanted, and Chloe looked at Max and was like, okay, we can go now.
Yeah, that's what happened for me.
Oh, I was like,
he shot him, not stabbed him.
And I was like, all right. Yeah, at one point he had Chloe pinned to the side of the RV, like trying to strangle her, and she just grabbed his knife and stabbed him.
Holy crap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah. For me, it was Max pinned against the RV, and Chloe shot him in the leg.
I think I saw that one too. I think I saw that.
So
I replayed this. Yeah, I replayed this a bunch of times. Chloe kills Frank a lot.
Yep.
It goes sideways pretty fucking quick.
All right. So the last big decision is when you're at the Vortex Club party. You have an inkling as to who's going to get abducted next. So you go and warn, or, well, You can warn Victoria, and she can either believe you or not believe you, or there's even the option of not even attempting to warn her at all.
I warned her.
Did she believe you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I also warned her, and she believed me. I did have to rewind on that one, but that was more so it's like you need to not be a victim.
She didn't believe me.
Nice,
I tried to
Joe.
warn her.
Very well. So let's move on into the minor decisions. You save the Blue Jay, you let the Blue Jay die.
It died.
I let it die.
I don't even know when it happened, so it died.
I think this is the same bird that got in the house in chapter 2.
Okay.
This is you coming around, so you let it in to not die before, and then you can let it back out so it doesn't die again, essentially. It's like a
Like
two-parter.
Disturb the nest.
That was the next one.
Oh, well then that other one isn't even an option that I have.
Oh, shit. Did you when the bird crashed into the window, did you let it die back in like chapter 1 or 2? Then, yeah, I think you don't even have that as a option.
There we go.
Next one is you disturb the bird's nest. You didn't disturb the bird's nest.
I did not.
I did not.
Same.
I had
Same.
I have had like no bird interactions this entire game so far.
Other
I'll be
than them
honest.
falling out of the sky.
True.
Why wasn't placing the bird nest outside an option though? Like it was
As soon as you touch a bird's nest, their eggs are useless to them.
but if you're
Yeah,
letting
the mother no longer incubates the eggs.
oh my god, but I let that bird out of the house, which is fucked up. So those eggs are just going to sit there and die anyway.
Yep.
That's a myth.
Okay.
Moving on.
You found David's code. You got David's files in another way.
I found his code, that little bitch. He left his number somewhere in one of the drawers from like the last episode when you're in the garage.
I got it in another way.
Yeah, same.
Same. Kate helped you find Nathan's room. Kate didn't help you. Joe, I know what your answer is.
I don't think she's really looking in your favor there, Joe, because she helped me.
Yeah, she helped me too.
She helped me as well.
Dang, she didn't help me.
Oh.
You motivated David to attend a Vortex Club party. You didn't motivate Daniel. Sorry. You motivated Daniel to attend the Vortex Club party. You didn't motivate Daniel to attend the Vortex Club party.
I didn't. Who is Dave? Who is Daniel?
Daniel was the one that did the caricature of you or the little portrait.
He does a lot of drawings.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Gotcha.
Does drawings.
He's an artist. But I did help him attend. I pushed him to go.
Yeah, peer
and
pressure.
He had a great time, damn it.
One of us. Next one. I totally missed this one, but you left a message on Warren's slate, or you didn't leave a message on Warren's slate.
I did.
I did not.
I did not also. I missed that.
Yeah, that was actually, I went back and did it later. You have to for the platinum because you have to take a picture of it after you set it up.
She uses the periodic table of elements and uses whatever it is to spell cute.
Yeah, something. Yeah, CU and TE.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even if I noticed it, I would have let it go.
The elements cucumber and tennis.
Cucumber and tennis.
Yeah. Those elements.
You figured out Nathan's pin code. You didn't figure out Nathan's pin code.
Figured it out. That was a really cool scene.
That was
neat. That was through was that the mirror?
No, I think this is when all the clues are on the board when you're trying to solve the mystery.
Yep.
And you have to go through all these piles of information, figure out which documents are like won't lead you anywhere, find the ones that do match and get information from those. It was kind of nuts.
That's right.
Leads you to the bunker. It leads you to the bunker.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I didn't think there was another option for that, to be honest with you, when I did it. Because, like, I didn't figure it out, but, like, it only took, like, 4 incorrect passwords, and it was, like, enter this code. And I was like, oh, well, I already have that code. Let me just enter that. Like, I thought it was intentional that you would get it wrong. It was
you can figure it out.
Yeah, I kept locking the phone out. I would have to rewind time to get to try different numbers. Another one of these, you helped Alyssa. You didn't help Alyssa.
I helped her.
I did.
I'm dedicated by this point.
Yeah, I think I got most of the Alyssa ones except for one. That toilet
I
paper.
only helped her because I realized that it was a thing in the last chapter. I was like, she's going to need help every chapter, isn't she? So I felt obligated.
All right.
We're going to save this last big decision until after we talk about chapter 5 as a whole.
Okay,
Okay, so-
yeah. Could we go over the small decisions in chapter 5 first
Sure. Yeah.
and then discuss the big decision? Because it's only one decision.
All right. Minor decisions, chapter 5. Well, I think we should talk about the end of chapter 4 real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't really skip
I
over
have some
that.
things to talk about.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they find the clues. They go to they find the secret basement with the, I don't, it's
The
like
photos.
it's like a photo
yeah.
shoot area that's like a secret hidden place underneath a barn.
The dark
Yeah,
room is
it's-
what they refer to.
Ah,
it as.
yes.
It's a basement in the middle of nowhere underneath
In
a
a
barn.
barn.
Yeah,
it's
it's like when
a
you're
bunker.
searching for this, you're like, this is creepy as shit. I have a feeling where this is going to go, and then it does.
It's
It was
worse. And then it's worse.
Yeah,
So they get a lead where they might find Rachel. They go to the junkyard, dig up a hole, and they find her body in the ground. So Max tries to console Chloe, and I forget what happens at that point, but I know Mr. Jefferson shows up, shoots Chloe in the head, and sticks a needle in Max's neck, and she passes out.
what happened? They started digging. They found Rachel. Chloe starts freaking out because they finally found Rachel's body, or just whatever happened to her. Max is standing up as Chloe is just in a state of panic and whatnot. Max gets the needle in the neck, and then she tries to call out to Chloe to say, "Hey, watch out," because Mr. fucking Jefferson comes up and then shoots Chloe in the fucking head. Max still is awake for this to see that happen, and then she passes out and wakes up in the dark room.
So, yeah, just to be clear, they go to the dark room before the vortex party. And that's how they know that Victoria is next.
Right.
You're right.
And then
Yeah.
they go and find Rachel and find Rachel's body. And then they go to the vortex party and they think that Nathan is moving Rachel's body. So they go back to the junkyard to make sure it's still there. And that's when Mr. Jefferson does that.
Got it. So, wow, this kind of skips ahead with these minor decisions. So Max finds herself in the chair, and there's a bunch of lengthy conversations she has with Mr. Jefferson in the basement, why he does this, why, like, he took Nathan on, what happened to Rachel. Like, they start explaining everything. Everything is coming out in these conversations. And he basically explains that he has already taken photos of Max while she's been unconscious, or he likes to describe it as pictures of innocence.
Right. He likes that exact moment when he
They come to
takes-
consciousness.
Exactly. When they go from innocence to fear or terror. Like that moment.
When they realize that their life is over.
Right. Like it's fucking sadistic by this point once that starts like coming out.
So you're able to wiggle around in the chair and get a hold of a picture that happened maybe 15 minutes ago or a half hour, I don't know, within a short time
The
ago.
party. It's right before the Vortex Club. It's the picture that Warren takes of you and Chloe.
No,
I was
it's
talking
different.
about I was talking about
This one
even
prior to that.
yeah, there's one where she's like half
She goes back in
drugged.
time, but she's still in the chair.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, right.
It's like a step by step of her trying to figure out a way to get out of here using the pictures to kind of alter time through.
yeah, well she goes back further to the party first and then she tries to change it, then goes back to still being in the chair, and then you have to change like a couple events because it's like still around the same time, and then you start going like a few hours and then like half the night back to like you have to get back to like a certain point until she can start try to fix things.
Anyway, David gets tipped off about the location of this dark room through some of the jumping around. So he comes in and he sneaks in, and this whole fight ensues between David and Mr. Jefferson. And this decision, it's not really a decision. It's based on your decisions. But does David get a scar during this fight with Mr. Jefferson, or did he not get a scar during the fight?
He did get a scar for me.
Yeah. I got the universal percentages for this. 96% of people came out of it with David having a scar.
Oh, wow.
That was
96
tough
to
to
4,
time, like the warning of David and everything happening in that sequence.
Absolutely. That's a tough sequence. So at the very end of it, so David eventually overpowers Mr. Jefferson through some of your rewinding and trickery. Do you let him kill Jefferson, or did you tell him not to kill Jefferson?
No, so that's not. It's not as plain as simple as you telling him to do that. You have the choice to tell him what happened to Chloe, or he can find out by himself. If you tell him what happens to Chloe, he's like he is beside himself that he couldn't protect someone that he loves. And again, this goes back to that fucking perspective thing, because like, yeah, he was a piece of shit like this whole fucking game, but like he actually really fucking cared about Chloe and her mom. And you see it here, and he fucking plays the part so goddamn well. And for me, he killed him because I told him the truth, because I wanted Jefferson to die. And I thought, because given the same fucking circumstance, if I was David, I'd fucking put a bullet in that guy's face too.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had the same result. I loved it.
I did not.
So you
you let Jefferson. Well, Jefferson lived then.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Is he just arrested?
Yeah.
Or what? Oh, okay.
I mean, when we get to the end of chapter 5, this point almost doesn't have any impact, though, unfortunately.
A lot of this doesn't have any impact.
No.
A lot of these smaller decisions that we're about to go through.
Well, I guess it could.
None of them.
Not in the end game, but for the story leading up to it, yes, because that's what you're involved in. And then they just hit you, which we'll get to. But no,
So-
I think everything that has led up to it is important, because you want some
100%.
Yeah, you need that. At least for me, I want that closure. I want to be able to be like, oh, you know what? This part of the story is done.
All right. So at this point, Max realizes she can go back and save Chloe, but she needs to get a hold of a picture in Warren's possession. So during the storm that she foresaw at the very beginning of the game is starting to hit the town at this point, she's traveling through the storm, and there's a lot of people that can get in the way of debris or accidents or a bunch of shit that could just straight up kill them right away. So there's a lot of people listed here as to whether you saved them or not. So we'll just go down the list. Number 1, did you save the trucker, or you don't save the trucker?
I did not.
No.
I did. Okay. 50-50 split.
You save Evan, or you didn't save Evan? I remember this one specifically. There's a metal sheet that flies through the air, and that could just either like one shot him, or you could tell him to get out of the way, because he's like taking pictures during this storm or whatnot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I did not.
Same. I didn't save him either. I didn't even see him or the trucker.
I'm going to just throw this out there. I didn't save anybody.
Oh, God.
Look, I knew that none of this was going to matter. I just wanted to get to Warren. I don't know which... It's not really a decision in here, but like, there's this one guy that you can accidentally burn alive.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah,
I did that.
actually.
I think that's one of these guys here.
Is it the fisherman?
No.
Yeah.
No, not... It is burn. I thought it was electrocute, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
Either way.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're getting to him. So I did save Evan. I found him too, though I don't actually ever remember meeting Evan for him to have a name other than camera guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You saved Alyssa. You didn't save Alyssa.
I did.
I did as well.
I'm glad she made it to the end. Clark, did
Again,
you
I
save
only
Alyssa?
saved her because I let her get hit by the
No,
toilet
I didn't.
paper.
I didn't save anybody, man.
Oh no.
These are all zeros for me. These are all. I didn't save the trucker. I didn't save Evan. I didn't save Alyssa, and I did not save the fisherman.
All right.
Yeah, the fisherman's next. I think he's the one that's sitting in the pool of water that you
Yeah,
need to turn on the power for.
He's the one you can burn or electrocute.
I looked several times to try and figure out how not to kill that guy because he was the only one other than Alyssa that I actually saw.
Once you get into the room with him, you can.
I couldn't get into the room with him without turning the power on.
You have to kill him first, and then get in the room. Rewind
And then
time,
rewind. Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense.
and then you can reach through the glass to turn on the power once you're in the room. After you get him to move, I think you have to put out the fire first, and then he can leave. Or I forget the whole thing.
Too much work.
The power, flipping the power on, turns on the sprinklers, which puts out the power, which then makes you get into the room with him.
I know, but by the time that I actually saw him and got around, it took about 4 tries, but I wasn't going to let him go because
He was a chicken nugget.
Yeah,
I fried his ass.
spicy.
Texan style. Next one. You helped Joyce believe in David again. You didn't change Joyce's mind about David.
I was unable to.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I wasn't able to as well. But I also didn't break up the family based on that decision I made earlier. So I'm wondering if
you probably didn't have to change your mind.
But no, I broke up her family and I changed her mind. It was
Nice.
it was more after seeing the way he
Helped you.
Chloe. Yeah, exactly. It was just that I could not let go. It's like that's when you could really see, and it's like he is that great character to me, where it's like starts off like really negative, and then you start to see a little bit, and it's like I don't know, and then you understand him as like a full character. You're like, oh shit, no, okay, I can almost to a point see where he wants to come from, even though he's
his intentions are good.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't go around hitting
Slightly
people.
misguided.
Yeah, I would say pretty misguided, but there's a good part to him.
next one. You told the truth about Rachel to Frank, or you didn't tell the truth about Rachel to Frank.
I did.
I didn't know that motherfucker nothing.
Oh.
Just another bullet in his other leg.
I don't know. By that point, everything was ending. So I'm like, you know what? Might as well tell him the truth. It's like, here's what happened. And it's because of the shit you did. So you live with that.
It was like the drugs that he sold that eventually got to her. So in a way, he had some cause in her death.
I did not tell him.
Gotcha. And then finally, your conversation with Warren. You can kiss him. You didn't show Warren any affection, or you can hug him.
Again, I knew nothing of this mattered, so I kissed Warren.
Same.
Oh, I gave him a hug.
So, okay. I had a feeling that that's what you did, Steve. So, was the Asian chick a bitch to you the entire time about Warren?
Yeah, but she liked him.
Right. That was very obvious.
Yeah. But yeah,
you
no,
didn't
she was
show any affection towards him at all.
No.
And you weren't going to the movie with him.
I took no invitation to the movies. The only real positive thing that I helped him with was the chemical compounds when he was doing his project, and letting him beat the shit out of Nathan. Those were like the only positive. I thanked him for standing up for me, but nothing romantic. But
okay,
Steve likes putting guys in the friend zone.
I do. You got to earn it. It's like, come on. It's
you gotta earn it.
Goddamn right. I'm Findom. Come on.
Well, any other thoughts on Chapter 5 before we get to the conclusion of it all?
I don't know. The dream sequence was a little weird.
Ah, yes, the dream sequence.
That was like a drug-induced trip.
Yeah.
There
was nuts.
One point during that was kind of, I think it was during that, where everything happens backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're running through the school.
Yeah, did you guys rewind time during that?
Yes, everybody talks normally.
Everybody talks normally.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
That was cool. Even the music, like the theme song for the game is playing during that opening scene when you start the game, and that is even playing in reverse, and it plays regularly if you
rewind time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so odd.
I think one interesting thing to talk about here before we get to the ending is you get to see your alternate future. What if you took the picture, you submitted it to Mr. Jefferson, Mr. Jefferson gets caught, and you get accepted to win that contest that he's constantly asking you about?
Yeah, where you
Right.
go to San Francisco for the
With the-
everyday heroes.
Yes. And when you get to go there with the principal and you kind of see how your life is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely a cool moment. And one important thing I think to note about that moment. So when you're on the plane flying to there, she realizes that she's in between realities, that she's like not completely committed one way or another or something. And like it's just showing a very limited perspective at that point.
Yeah, I think she was like internalizing. It's like, is this really where I'm at, or am I, what is actually happening now? Like once you get the phone call from Chloe, it's like the tornado is still hitting. Everything that you did, coming back to it, did not matter.
I don't know how we didn't mention this earlier too, but when she excessively uses her powers, her nose starts to bleed.
Oh yeah,
And this is happening more and more frequently towards the end of the game as well. Like it's just like overload, and it's like I think pushing her limits to the max.
Get out of here.
Oh, God.
That was good, but you know what? It's Chloe's fault. She's the one that pushed her to really like overdo it, and then because
Test
of
her
Chloe,
powers.
she had to do it more.
So she finds the picture. She goes back to the right before the party, tells Chloe everything, and then they end up at the lighthouse. And we come to our final chapter. We come to our final decision.
Yeah,
And this is either destroy the picture and just accept everything that's happened and let the town just be destroyed by this tornado, or go back to the very first incident where she
Take a picture of the
saved
butterfly.
the blue butterfly in the very beginning.
Yeah, and you can save Chloe or let Chloe die there and just let all the events that have happened this entire game not happen.
What a mind fuck! It's like I don't know about you guys, but that I had to set the controller down and think, it's like, what am I going to do now? And ultimately, I sacrificed Chloe.
I did the same.
I feel like it was a decision between what she said right beforehand, because it was very strong. She was saying, what if this was because of me? Maybe I caused this, maybe that day. And then that's when I sat the controller down and really thought, well, it was because I saved her in the bathroom when she was shot, saved her from the train tracks, saved her again from being shot by Jefferson to an extent so many times. And I'm like, maybe she's right. And I just think instead of sacrificing an entire town, if she can come to that conclusion, and it's not the first time that I said yes to, her ending her life, which was weird enough, but that was not easy decision.
No, I thought along those lines a lot as well. Like it almost seemed like all these unnatural phenomena were happening because you were fighting against what destiny intended. And by keeping her alive, you're somewhat destroying the world because that's not what's supposed to happen. So yeah, I ultimately did go with the sacrificing Chloe. I thought it would just make for a better ending to this game as well. Just weighting those two decisions. I thought it'd be just a weird way to just let everybody die that you've been fighting to save this entire game and just drive off.
And then what an ending it was.
Joe, hold on. Joe, what did you do?
I sacrificed Chloe.
I sacrificed Arcadia Bay.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay.
I did.
All right, so go ahead. What happens with the end of that one?
So the tornado just rips through Arcadia Bay, destroys tons of stuff. You see buildings leveled, and it's pretty safe to assume that no one makes it out. And my decisions on that, I was like looking at like the friend stats, and I realized I was the only one. And then I looked at the world stats, and it's pretty even.
Yeah, it's close to 50-50.
So here's the thing. I grew to absolutely love the character of Max and loved Chloe, and I wanted them to be together. So, and this is like a completely selfish thing, but like if I had to make the same choice about one of you guys, I would level Limerick and let you guys live. And that is how I made that decision. I put myself in that situation, and I would be okay with leveling a fucking city.
You're gonna make me cry.
Oh, I'm just saying.
I know, right?
It was a very tough, like, dude,
I know.
I sat after that and like I waited a while. I actually waited a few days before I looked at the other ending online. And comparatively, there's just this. Okay. So like I don't know if anyone else looked at the endings.
I actually watched both of them. I clicked on both options just to watch how they played out.
So Chloe and Max get in her truck and they drive through the town, and they're looking at all the destruction and stuff. And they both have this face of like, we're going to be okay together. Whereas I don't think that Max could live with herself having sacrificed her friend twice. Because you have to think about this. Even though certain things become undone from the time loop, Max's memory will always be that she killed her friend twice. She allowed her friend to die twice. And I don't know anybody that could live with themselves that way. So I just wanted, after all the shit that Max went through, I thought she personally could be selfish and have a good ending for her and fuck everybody else. And that's like my thought process of what went into my decision there.
Yeah, I mean, I just picked, sacrificing Chloe because it was, I mean, it was kind of like you brought up. It was kind of like when she was in a wheelchair, and it was kind of what she was asking for. She was like, "Look, I don't really deserve to be the person that is responsible for all of these lives," and I just kind of went for it, and I was kind of okay with it. I understand your point about Max taking on that burden, but when she sacrifices Chloe, she kind of nips in the butt like everything that happens already. Like she spills the beans on what's happening to Nathan and gets him the help he needs. Like Mr. Jefferson gets arrested. In my instance, Kate doesn't die. Like there's a lot of things that happen that are for the better in the story, where there's a lot less pain involved for everyone around, not even just related to the storm.
I mean, yes, but like the storm pretty much kills everybody except for Kate. She's in a different town. She's in a hospital in a different town.
I wonder what that would have been like for me. She probably would have just skipped that scene.
Well, no,
back.
you go visit her at one point.
Well, right, she's dead in my game.
Right, yeah. You take a bus for a while.
Yeah, Joe never got that.
Her. Right.
Yeah, no.
No,
But-
I think the good thing to note here, though, is they're both very viable options, but yet very different options.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
I like it. And it's such a weighted decision. I mean, just our conversation on it, you could tell it's not one to be taken lightly.
No.
It's,
No, not at all. And like, dude, I was fucking blown away at the end of this game. Like, I was very skeptical at the beginning, but like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that is a 180 from the beginning to the end. Just be like, oh, this is what it's just like the drama and whatnot, and then by the end you're like, holy fuck. This was I'll admit it, this was one of the stories that was done so well. I got emotional over it. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
what
Me
the
too.
fuck?
oh,
It's like
100%.
it's like who's cutting onions? That's
Oh, yeah,
that's
dude.
that's not fair. And then especially the end, I'm like, holy fuck, because the ending for if you sacrifice Chloe is you see the town interacting, and then it goes to the school, and then it goes to like Max, and she's dressed in black, and they're all walking up to a cemetery, and you're burying Chloe, and it's a very emotional fucking scene. I mean, it goes on for like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I
I had a
mean,
big ass lump in my throat.
it's not a quick process. Like, you have to sit and envelop everything that's coming at you. You're like, holy fuck. It's like, this is happening because this is what I chose. And that's, oh, goddamn. Hats off to the writers, because fuck, that was a very well told story, and it hit on many different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. That kind of wraps up my thought. And I did want to pitch it out to anybody who was interested in this story. There is a prequel to this that follows Chloe and Rachel prior to the events of this game. So if you wanted to expand on that universe a bit, there is.
And there's a season 2 as well.
That has no relation to this, though.
Yeah,
really?
Life is Strange 2 is its own story.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing with this franchise. They want completely isolated stories.
Huh.
So Life is
Okay.
Strange 3 is actually, I think, rumored to come out in the near future, and that's, again, brand new characters.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the one
Interesting.
thing I'll give them is saying it's like when they were talking about like doing number 2, they're like the story between Max and Chloe is done. We can't do anything else with this. We don't want to do anything else. So brand new.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else on story before we move on to our lengthy segment of gameplay?
I know. It's like, how are we gonna like?
We could probably almost rapid fire through the other. Well, cool. Let's snap a picture of a blue butterfly and move on into gameplay.
Gameplay.
Flutter,
So-
flutter, flutter, flutter.
So I'll be honest with you. Kind of related to story, I wanted to wait till gameplay to say this. I very, very rarely rewound time to change my decision.
Same.
Almost always the decision I took was the decision I went with. The one that really comes to mind was the one that I already spoke about, where Frank, first I shot the fucking dog, and I was like, yeah, that's not happening. And then I shot Frank like 4 fucking times before I got it right, and I shot him in the leg.
Hey, you know what? Good enough. He's alive.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt about it. I was like, oh, he's not dead. Fuck it. Like, other than that, I don't have any real moments that I really rewound time to fix. Outside of the stuff that like kind of forced you to, like shit fell. Like when the stuff fell in front of the closet, I felt like I was kind of obligated to fix that ahead of time and then get in the closet.
No, that was still your decision.
I didn't realize it at that time, though. Like, those were the types of decisions that I realized were actually decisions a little bit later on.
No, I try to use it as seldom as possible, but there's just some times where I wasn't satisfied with the outcome. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back again. And then I see the other outcome and I'm like, I can live with that. Or no. We're going to go back to the first one. But I really did like the system, because with a lot of games, you're always left wondering. And
Yeah.
I do like the idea of being able to go back and check it out again. I mean, that does kind of come into where how much replay do you get out of it if you can see the way different situations. But even just talking tonight, there's a few where it's literally 1 or 2 answers that can just change a whole different interaction. That's pretty damn cool.
Right.
Yeah, no, like you said, Steve, that rewind mechanic scratches that itch when it comes to these games where you always wonder. You could just play it right out, and I 100% love that about this game. Then it just adds a new dynamic in general to a game like this, or like little story things that build on this mechanic that you don't get out of some of these other choose your own adventure games. So from a gameplay experience, I was pretty sold. But it's pretty standard with this type of genre games. You get your options on the screen, you choose one. What was nice, though, I don't really remember any QTEs at all in this game that are pretty common in these types of games. I don't even know if they were present at all.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Which was awesome. It was more about the story and not the, because those are the things when you fuck up those, it just pisses you off.
Right.
Because like one forgetting to mash square or something like that causes like a huge change in like the story beats that you were aiming to get. Like that always drove me nuts with these types of games. But having full control over it, not just on not having those, but always with the rewind mechanic, it just, I don't know, made it for a good experience.
Yeah, I really thought that was definitely like an interesting aspect of this, like where they they're not afraid to kill a character. However, they don't make it a single button press will fuck it up and they will die. There's no point in this game where someone dies because you fucked up one thing.
On a side note, I will say, I don't know if you guys messed around with this, but in each chapter there was 10 hidden pictures that you can take, which really played into her being a photographer. But I liked that collectible mechanic of the game, because some of them you had to be at just the right angle for certain things to line up. You had to rewind time and play with things to get a certain shot that she was looking for. I thought it was kind of cool. And I seeked out all 50 of the pictures in this game that you could take. It was just an extra layer of exploring this world and learning new things about it that made it kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, you got a platinum on this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it was going to be a pretty easy platinum, and I was like, 100%, let's do it.
Fancy bitch.
It took a little extra time, but it wasn't bad at all.
The pictures were, I only took them when I saw them. I think the only time I really sought them out was when you were in the school and everything was backwards. That was interesting for like the pictures. Like there was like the one skeleton, that's the one that stands out. The one that was like in the corner or on a door. And the only way you can actually really get a picture of it or anything in that round is like actually rewinding time. And then you just took the picture backwards and then it just showed up in your inventory. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that was kind of cool. Like a lot of the pictures had like a little mechanic thing behind it. Like you had to put food down for squirrels to take a squirrel shot, or you had to catch a bird before it flies off, or stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. That's all I had on gameplay.
Yeah, that's all I really had too. I mean, it's your standard storytelling game. It's dialogue focused. It's not really, there's no quick times. We hit everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, let's move into Oh wait, let's buy some drugs from Frank. Let's shoot up before hopping into graphics.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's shoot up and hop in. I'm running on pure adrenaline.
Stimutex.
Yeah, exactly.
Graphics.
I don't know. The artwork in it looked good. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's not like, I don't think you were really missing out on too much like HD, Joe, having to go down to like 720. I mean, like maybe a little bit, but it's not one of those games where you're really going to be too upset about it.
I think it was initially a PS3 release, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I wasn't concerned about that.
No. So, I mean, it's what it is. It looks nice. I always like this art style. You know, I dig that, but you know, there's nothing to really go like too over the top about.
It seemed similar to the Walking Dead Telltale games,
Yeah,
but it had its own feel as well. Like this seemed more like a watercolor design, if I'm not mistaken on that one.
It's kind of like the Telltale games minus the comic cell shading, and then you throw in kind of like an indie movie kind of art, like art style and film direction with it, if that makes sense.
I thought it looked great though. I mean, it doesn't look like capabilities you can get out of certain games today, but as far as like from a storytelling perspective, like I thought it was very appropriate for this game.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, like I said, as far as visuals go, it was very. I think it was very fitting for the type of game that it is, and it was very like it didn't want to like, because if the graphics were like off the charts amazing, I think it would kind of pull you away from the story almost a little bit. Because like I get that way in some games that look too good, or not too good, but you know what I mean. Like the detail is amazing, and I'm like looking at all the fine little details, and then sometimes I find myself getting distracted in those details and not paying attention to the dialogue as much. But I feel like this was like perfect for that type of thing.
I get that.
Yeah, like another type of game that actually focused on like that detail work. Like I don't know if you played Detroit Become Human, but like that was like a visual accomplishment. That game like looked amazing with the storytelling. It doesn't need to be like that for every game like this though. Like as long as you can nail the story and have halfway decent look to the game, I think it'll do just fine.
The only other graphical thing that I wanted to talk about was like I said, I played on PC, and not only did I have that HD issue, but oddly enough, every time I came across a phone in the game, it didn't have the name of the phone, and it had like the coded name of the phone, like the variable name of the phone,
Huh.
as it would be coded in, whatever coding language they're using. It was very weird. It was just phones.
That's so weird.
It was so weird.
There's a lot of weird issues that you had with this game. Like weird, like graphical hitches.
Yeah, I mean, there were, common issues. I mean, as soon as I Googled them, like it was, they were like, yep, don't use HD. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe something was off when they tried to port it over.
Anything else for graphics, guys?
I really
No.
don't think there's too much.
All right. What how do we want to segue into sound?
I don't know. How do you want to segue into audio?
Let's put on our headset, walk down the corridors of the school into sound. Backwards.
Audio.
Yes, audio.
Jesus. Do you want to take that one again, or are we going to just leave it?
Let's put on our headphones and walk down the school corridor backwards into audio.
Oh, you doubled down on it.
Yeah. Saw that.
All right, cool. That's
All right.
fine.
Yeah.
Audio.
I think this soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Absolutely. I already put like several of the songs on my Spotify playlist.
I have the entire fucking thing like staged up and ready to go. Like I listened to the ending has two different songs. There's a different song for each ending.
Makes sense.
And it's a different indie artist, and both songs are fucking incredible and nail it. That ending song for After You Sacrifice Chloe is fucking incredible. I can't get enough of this goddamn soundtrack. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, no, I've listened to quite a few of the tracks already. I think I got lost the one day. Well, so, okay, a small story here. So I ran to the bank the one day at work, and they were doing construction on the road. It took me like 20 minutes to get there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shortcut on all the back roads to get back to the store. But it turns out they were doing construction on like 4 different roads. A lot of them are one ways, so they kept sending me in circles. So it took me like 35 minutes to get back to the store, and I just put on this soundtrack the entire time I was lost in the back roads trying to get back to work. So there's that little story.
I cannot say that I've made a Spotify list out of it yet, but when I loaded up the game so I can take a look at our choices and grab pictures of it, as soon as it started, I'm like, oh, I'm back again. No, I like this.
Now, I'll be honest. I didn't recognize a lot of the bands that were a part of this soundtrack, and some of them were songs made specifically for this game, but they also included licensed tracks that were already in existence. And the one I did notice is, if you're familiar with Alt J, they had a song contributed to this game.
It's a bunch of indie artists, and honestly, I'm not huge into the indie scene, but whew. I like, seriously, like, I was just like, I want to fucking dress like a goddamn hipster, go get some coffee, and just jam out to this all fucking day.
Yeah.
I got some corduroy that's just waiting to be worn, so let's go ahead.
If it's not vintage, I don't want it.
Okay, getting away from the music before I get away from the music, the tracks that they did use were so well timed in this game. Like they used the correct track for when they revealed the alternate timeline. They used the correct track at the end of the game. They used the correct track like that first scene where you're walking down through the school, like just meeting like the characters and just starting the game. Like the placement of these tracks was phenomenal.
Yeah,
You
it really
can tell
set the
that
tone.
So I guess let's talk about voice acting real quick. Your two leads of the game. So Hannah Tell did Max Caulfield, and for Ralph out there, Ashley Birch did Chloe Price in this game.
she strikes again.
I didn't even recognize that at first, and I've
No.
heard her in quite a few games already, but I didn't pick up on that until the credits. I think both of them did a phenomenal job, but I also want to say, like, I think all the supporting cast characters also did a great job with the voice acting. I think that the most annoying one was probably Alyssa, but that was probably designed that way.
That's fair.
It probably wasn't the voice actor. It was probably just the way they wanted her lines read, is what I'm guessing. Any thoughts? Voice acting? Good, bad? Anybody you didn't like?
No, I thought it was all well done.
Every once in a while, Mr. Jefferson would just kind of like, when he was in the dark room, like some of the things like just came off a little, I don't know. I don't want to say not believable because it's just a crazy fucking person just spouting nonsense. So I guess that's always believable. But it was just, I don't know, seemed a little off, but I can't really point a finger at anybody who's like, oh, no, that was bad.
Well, let's take a seat at our lighthouse and ponder our final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I really enjoyed this game. Like I said, when I first started playing it, the first hour or two, I was like, I don't know if this game is really geared toward me. And then once I really got into it, I couldn't put it down. And like Steve said, the end of each chapter, like it really just pulled you in. And again, another thing I wanted to mention in the story that I forgot about that happened to me that kind of really made me realize how much I liked this game before I even finished it was the fact that when I installed this game and it put the icon on my desktop, it says Life is Strange episodes 1 through 4. So when I played the game, I thought episode 4 was the end. And it finishes the scene with, basically Mr. Jefferson knocking out Max. And I was just like, how the fuck is this the end? And like, that was my triggering point where it was like, yep, I love this game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then obviously once I got through the cutscene, I had chapter 5, but it was it's kind of like an eye-opening experience when that happened for me.
Oh, so it was making you think the game was going to end up at 4, and then they just hit you blindsided with this cliffhanger?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought
that's
was
a
the end
wonderful
of the
surprise.
game. I was just like, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
I wonder if that's intentional by design to have that icon show up like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But it totally fucked me up because when we disclaimer, we had to reschedule the recording of this due to things happening, but I had to cram that last chapter in because I didn't realize that it existed.
Oh, you were planning on 4, so like
I was planning on
this one
4.
out for a little bit more, and then it's like chapter 5, and you're like, oh shit!
I was like, shit, I'm staying up late tonight to finish out this last 3.5 hours. I mean, it was all great. Like I said, I love the game. It was, I really can't poke a hole in really any part of it.
Fair enough. Steve, you want to go next?
Sure. There's very few games that really pull a certain emotion out of me, and I guess like once I'm getting older, so I tap into it a little bit more. But this really fucking hit. I am very grateful, and I enjoyed playing through this game because there's very few that really make you think on that deep of a level. And I know some of it may come off as, it's like kids in school or something else, but it's still, it's still feelings that you get and you can relate to. Now, I completely enjoyed this experience. It made me happy. It made me sad. It made me depressed, and then kind of happy again, then depressed again. Like, motherfucker. But that's a good game.
You didn't attempt
right
to
there.
jump off a building, did you, Steve?
No. I
It was
live
very
in
short if you did.
I live in a rancher. The most I can do is jump like 3 feet down a hill, and then I'll just roll into picker bushes. Not a good look.
Yeah, you'll like roll your ankle. That's like about it.
I'll go to jump and I'll just slip on grass like, shit. And then there we go.
Laying in dog shit.
Multiple piles. But no, this was, I'm happy to have played through this because it's been a long time since a game really kind of hit me like this. So yeah, no, it's a good pick, Harry. You nailed it.
All right, Mr. Clark, wrap us it up.
Rappus?
Yeah,
Wrap us this up.
Rappus it up. Wrapping it up.
Rizzy rapper
Ribbon-a-boo.
You're never allowed to say anything slightly off on this podcast.
No. We all jump on each other. That's the way it should be.
Whoa.
Ew, dog
No.
pile.
I meant what I said.
All right, so I think this game is just like utter horseshit. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I think this game is a generational masterpiece. I think anyone that owns a console or computer that is able to play this game needs to. This game is one of a kind, and I think it just hits emotionally and just in such an impressive way. I think it is just one of the best games ever created.
Damn. All right.
Bam.
So I guess to start off with my final thoughts, I'll say I needed this after Destroy All Humans.
Again,
It was very
that's
refreshing.
okay. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So just
No, you're
to
not.
elaborate.
No, he's
so
not.
At least this game made you sad emotionally and not mentally.
So the way I played Life is Strange, I started this before Destroy All Humans. I played the first 4 chapters of this and then switched over to Destroy All Humans and
Oof.
That's
kept
terrible.
5 on a cliffhanger for like a week and a
Oh
half.
my god.
Anyway, this game you don't come across too often. This is like the package deal. Like Joe and Clark and Steve were saying, like I can't poke too many holes in it. Like I think this is one of the better games I have ever played. And there wasn't a moment playing this where I was bored or wanted to turn it off. Like it was just go until the game's completion. And it was like a perfect length too. Like if this stretched on too far, it would drag on. But like this script was kept very tight. There wasn't any like padding to this game. Like everything was done with purpose. I don't know. Every category just gets the check mark for me. I can't say enough good about it. Very well.
Well said, Harry.
I don't have any other segues.
So let's make
Let's-
the final
let's just-
decision.
Let's just pull the plug and give it our grade.
Oh no. Fuck.
Jesus Christ, Harry.
Really?
What the fuck, man?
That?
I'm okay with it.
Come on.
It sets the stage for this game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why can't we just like, jump to oh wait, no.
Oh.
The score.
Well, we ramped up to this situation, so let's go ahead.
All right. Who wants to give their grade first?
Oh, you ramp.
Thank you.
God damn it, Harry. Harry, Steve. God
Yep.
damn it.
Yeah, that was the perfect 1, 2, 3. You won.
It's like, you son of a bitch.
All right, Harry, who's starting?
Go ahead, Steve.
All right. No long-winded speech. A+.
Go ahead, Clark.
This is a must buy. This is 100%. You must own this game.
Very well.
Give them your money.
Is that
I'll
100% a buy or a must buy?
It's a must buy.
I don't do this very often, but I'm definitely giving this a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
think-
I don't have my list up currently. I know it ties with Left 4 Dead, the first one.
And
I-
Until Dawn.
And Until Dawn. Okay. There we go.
Joe, Encyclopedia.
And Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, yeah.
And Rambo.
And Duck
Rainbow
Dynasty.
Six Siege.
And Farming Simulator 16, 17.
Absolutely. All right, Joe, what's your grade?
So, I mean, I love this game. It, like I said, I've never had a game
Oh, just
make me
looking for the
feel
score, though. We already had final thoughts, Joe. I've done this before. I've cut somebody off and like, ooh, just looking for the score.
So, due to the issues that I had and the porting, I can only give it a 92.
Okay, fair. That's
yeah,
fine.
Fair.
yeah.
You played a different version of the game. Very well. Well, I think that wraps up Life is Strange. Thank you for tuning in. What game do we have next coming up?
Is that Stick of Truth?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think Stick of Truth.
Give you the old stick of truth.
No, you're a fucking liar, Harry.
Very
You
well.
said 6. That's like half of it. Wink.
Oh,
What happened?
Reverse
I don't know.
psychology. He was expecting the insult.
oh, okay.
I talked
Well,
about
we-
your dick. That's what I did. There seemed to be some confusion.
For anyone that escaped, Steve was talking about Harry's penis.
You guys were like, what?
If you're
What's going
unfamiliar,
on?
that is the male genitalia
Yes.
of a human. The penis.
And anatomically correct for Harry.
It's such small penis.
How does it do pokies?
All right.
He's so small.
He's
so small.
Well, stay tuned. 2 weeks from now, we'll bring you a new fresh MUBRS.
All right.
Until then, stay sexy.
Love you guys.
Stay lovely.
Stay safe.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on social media and all streaming platforms at Superfun Podcast for more episodes. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us and consider becoming a Patreon member for more exclusive content.